Are you looking to complete the 2TC achievement? Well, I have a combination for you that should actually be pretty easy on paper. The Prince of Darkness and the Ray of Doom, or in this case, Pod and Rod. The only slight difficulty in this entire run is starting up, because we're going to want to need some undead spawns to come in as soon as possible, so that we can deal with a potential issue known as camo regrow purple balloons, although we will be able to actually decamify them at a certain point. But before we get any upgrades for our wizard monkey, we're going to put you on to first, and hopefully that's able to do all that. Oh, thank goodness for that. As I said, slight difficulty with the early stage of the game. I'm going to put you over there because you don't have focused firing yet, which means this entire square is our potential killing zone. The key word there is potential. Intense magic, monkey sense, and we're going to go up to fireball. We do not want to get laser cannon before we get necromancer. Otherwise, we're going to have no means of being able to pop purple balloons, and no, the fireball explosions from the fireballs don't count, since you actually need to make contact with a non-purple balloon in order for that to be a liable possibility. It's possible, but just incredibly unlikely. We are not upgrading this thing to laser cannon before we get the undead. However, we do need fireballs so that we can deal with a certain metal adversary that is going to be appearing on round 28. Shimmo is not important really, since we're going to have camera detection on both of our towers here, but Necromancer, now that is very important, because the undead balloons actually have the normal damage type, which is so good. Imagine if the undead actually had like energy, or I don't say plasma, but they have like undead energy. So imagine if they had the energy damage type. This will be far worse of a 2TCable tower, for goodness sakes. Okay, I'm going to switch you over there so we can deal with the yellow balloon, and the lack of focus time means that we are definitely missing out on some potential pops here. Round 27, we are literally haywiring all of these balloons here because, well, we're not actually really doing that sufficient damage with our Dartling Gunner at a particular spot. And when I say haywiring, I kind of had a haywire-ish moment there. Lead balloons, go down please, and everything else, finish them off. Just like that. No fatalities so far on our end, and we're going to get ourselves the undead army for our disposal. I'm going to place you up here just so that we have the best amount of coverage with these undead balloons. At this given point in time, we're going to have water fire, and we're going to do some upgrades on our Dartling Gunner here. If you're a first time viewer on this channel and you wonder why I spelled Gatling with 2 T's rather than 1 T, which is how it's meant to be spelled, just look up Red Alert 2 Gatling Cannon. This is what it's referenced to, okay? We are clearing the air. Now, the reason why I want laser cannon so that we can actually deal a lot of damage towards the Morrow class balloons before they actually get in range of our undead range, so that they're heavily damaged but not popped when they are in the range of our Necromancer, because we need to retain this graveyard. You're a wizard, Harry, but also a Necromancer. In this timeline, Harry is secretly aligned with Voldemort. But does Voldemort even go into necromancy? I don't really watch Harry Potter, so I couldn't really give you the answer to that one. Round 40, Moab popped over here. Laser cannon did its job by damaging the Moab. Actually, I should keep this over here for the time being here, because of the sheer factor that I do want to keep getting pops near the Necromancer. So we're going to get Pod first before we get Plasma Accelerator. Just simply because I feel like we have enough DPS anyways in order to deal with the Moabs. But when we get to the BFBs, then, I mean, that's still going to be useful. But just not as useful as this. Or this. And most definitely not, this. imagine if Ninja Kiwi changed the damage type of Ray of Doom to Plasma. That would be a lot of fun, wouldn't it now? I see Ninja Kiwi just doing that out of spite. There are 3 things that I do not get within this game. Dartling Camo Purple Regrow Solo. So that means the other tower is either a energy / plasma / fire base attacker. Number 2 is Ice Camo White Solo. And number 3, Ace Micro. These are 3 things I cannot, for the life of me, fathom my head around. We are laying waste to all of these balloons. You horde mean nothing, for I do have the horde clearers. Like, this is a very good combination with each other. Like, they both clear out a huge amount of balloons, but at the same time, they're both pretty powerful. Powerful in numbers and powerful in the tip and the pierce. Steer you just to the Moabs, and then we're gonna have ourselves a pod very, very soon. Why do I say pod? It's initials. Just like with the Ray of Doom, that's his initials. So if you hear pod and rod in the Balloon Tower of Defense 6 sphere, just know that it's just short for Prince of Darkness and Ray of Doom. We now have the Prince of Darkness. We're going to move your cursor over to here so we can maximize your undead range, so that it's always, well, most of the time it's within the confines of the pod here. Like, it wasn't too recent, but it's got back its range increase, which it was taken away for a little bit, but Ninja Kiwi decided it's better off with a range increase on it from the Necromancer. And to be honest, I do agree. So with this out of the way, unless you miss out on some upgrades or you do some city cursor shenanigans with your Dartling Gunner, this is pretty much a secured game. What we have going up at the moment, as long as we buy our upgrades for our Dartling Gunner, this is a guaranteed win. And now the Plasma Accelerator has debuted. I would say just keep it over here because our pod is going to be able to deal with the purples, but just trickle the Moab health down so we go down to ceramics and just leave the pod to clear it up, because our Plasma Accelerator is useless against purple balloons. So why put it over here when its pierce is reduced down to 0? And that's what the damage types are in Balloons Tower Defense 6. So, for example, if you try and get a plasma attack to land on a purple balloon without an MIB going on with that particular tower, it literally reduces pierce down to 0. Normally it'd be like, well, however much it would be, but a pierce of 0 means it also has 0 damage. Whenever there are no Moab class balloons, now just let them all be popped by the pod just so they can continue having its graveyard up to its highest possible capability, which is 3000. Everyone's favorite round in Balloons Tower Defense 6. Also, it's a breather for Moab class balloons. Just ignore the undead BFBs on the screen. Those don't count. Resort wasn't initially released with Balloons Tower Defense 6, but when it did release, it's just an absolute dream for Dartling Gunner 2 Tower Chimps to be a thing, especially with the top path, I feel like, because of the fact that, well, it just fires in one straight line. Like, I know that the Mad fires in a straight line, but it's sort of a bit more diagonal in certain cases. And the same with, well, especially the Bears, actually. That fires out in all directions. But just this one massive straight line here is just an absolute godsend for the Dartling Gunner. Around 75, we do have to combat with a lot of pierce on these BFBs, but that doesn't matter since, well, we essentially have a global map range anyways, and all of those ceramics just went down there. The Plasma Accelerator is pretty powerful, but once the tip runs out of pierce, you are kind of hindered in your potential of being able to target other balloons in which you would otherwise want to hit. I think they do only get like a minimal amount of damage, and that's outside of the tip pierce. I believe the main beam and the tip have different pierce counts, if I remember correctly. I don't know anymore. I am not the Balloons Encyclopedia, and nor do I claim to be at all. We'll just leave a pod to damage all these. It's not reclaim its graveyard back. Let's do that a little bit by having you enter the vicinity, and let the purples enter the vicinity as well, actually. And just leave the rest of this up to the pod. There's just like a man or a monkey that has any mercy. Just look at his eyes. You can just tell that this monkey has seen some shite. Round 79, fortified BFBs. Now they are no longer a thing. What about this ZOMG over here? Keep the peers on the ZOMG. Remember the time when I thought that the tip of a plasma accelerator wasn't like any more powerful than the rest of the beam? Well, how times have changed. I feel like as a player I've definitely improved at the game, but I'm still like nowhere near good enough to say that I am a good player at this game, honestly. Like, I've done a few things here and there. I've done Crossbow Master and Ultra Boost 2 Tower Chimps. I recently did one with the Perma Charge and Ultra Boost, and then the other Ultra Boost one that I've looked at, like Glaive Lord. Any others that come to mind? Like the other ones which have been possible to be done, like Pirate Lord Ultra Boost, Sky Shredder Ultra Boost on 1-2 tree, because I think not sure if it's like when it comes to like cost or like the power of the Sky Shredder, because there's that one square which you unlock quite early where you get like more damage out of your military tower. But I don't know. I'm like, I also Century Champion as well. Who can forget that 2T, 2MP, 1TTC video on this map nonetheless. Good times, good times. 2 ZOMGs. I want to damage both of these because I want them trickled down in HP as soon as possible so that we can replenish our graveyard, because you're looking a little low there, Pod. I know halfway there is 1500 and it was that, but I'd rather keep it up in the, well, 3000 or the high 2000s or somewhere in the 2000s. If it drops below 2000, then it starts spawning Moab zombies rather than BFB zombies. Although the only upside is that they do travel further rather than the BFBs, which somehow have a shorter lifespan. Now, how about 4 ZOMGs? We've done Pod and Mad before, but we haven't done Pod and Rod before. Yeah, and there goes the rest of this round, for goodness sakes. Oh gosh, you're gonna feel the pain so much when I get the rod. It's almost like you weren't even in existence to begin with. Also, we've got these 2 ZOMGs left, but if we know anything like round 85, this is not going to be a problem. And also because of the fact that we had prior mile class put onto the field here, this has a bit of a bigger graveyard in comparison to the other ZOMGs we're up against. There goes round 89, just a little bit of a swivel here and there. We are up against DDTs, but the pod is a fantastic counter against DDTs. It can essentially solo round 95 if you can position the undead spawn cursor in the correct spot. We are very close now to the rod, being able to purchase the rod. The rod of all things. Also, did you know that both Harry and Voldemort have their own like rod kind of thing? I'm talking about the wands, the ones in which they wave about. I swear anything today can be taken as a sexual innuendo. I don't mean it like that, but I know people in the comment sections will be giving me that curious eyebrow emoji. You know the one in which I'm talking about. There was a slight moment there where we could have failed. A little bit, but that's why we keep our cursors swiveling. Deal with these DDTs, and I think when we get to round 95, we'll be able to have our Ray of Doom active. Or even like now, actually. The only way in which you could fail is, if you put it down here. Not a good thing to do, really. Let's put it on the ZOMGs, actually, because they'll be able to handle all of the other things going on here. But let's trickle that down. I know I've mentioned that multiple times, but you cannot overstate the importance of that. Oh, by the way, I found the ultimate obstacle of the Ray of Doom, which presents out a huge, big-ass, powerful laser. A parasol, of all things, stops the huge blast of a Ray of Doom. Doom is in its name, but parasol, big defense. What's that thing, actually? You just shook about all violently there. Okay, let's keep you up there. Let's damage all of those. Let's damage the ZOMGs, actually. Oh, put you up there again. May never know when you need to reinitiate the rod back into place over here. And there we go, folks. Round 97. Fortified ZOMGs. Let's put you over here. Ensure that they're all getting popped within the radius of the pod itself. There we go, round 98. Trickle down the fortified BFBs, leaving the ZOMGs and all that whatnot. Let's move you back over there. This is definitely a guide, right? Round 99, fortified DETs, and we have this game in the bag. The only way which you can fail this now is if you take the cursor away from bad. Obviously, I'm not going to do that for forever, for goodness sakes. The rod is just... there's no downside to it, really. It's not as powerful, like, per projectile thing as the MAD is against the Mo class balloons, but when it comes to just everything else, it's just so powerful. Like, it's just so cool. Oh, I could have done a million each. Nah, I'm not gonna redo that just for that. Perhaps I could have held off on like round 98 for a little bit, but nah, you're a wizard, Harry, not a 1 megapops capable thing. I can't really call you a person when you're looking like this. Thank you all so much for watching, everyone. Let me know what you thought of this video down in the comment sections below, and let me know what other possible 2 tower chimps combinations you can think of for me to try out. Also, anything else like 2 megapops or 23 megapops, or all pops to around 100, or all pops to around 140. I don't think there's really like many of us left which I haven't done. Like, someone's proven that Avatar of Wrath all pops around 140 as possible, but like, you have to be on end of a road for that, and I feel like I hit the end of a road if I try and do that sort of thing, for goodness sakes. If you have not hit that subscribe button already, please do so, as we are on our way to 10,000 subscribers, where we'll be doing a 2 megapops with a base mortis, and that could be incredibly fun to witness. Thank you all so much for watching. I have not gone insane, and take care of yourselves.